Welcome back, and before we start our second segment, first we'd like to commemorate the memory of the late Dr. Ali Asamman, who passed away on Friday, the 5th of August 2017. Actually, Dr. Ali Asamman was the president of the International Union for the Dialogue of Cultures and Religion, and Dr. Ali was an important Egyptian figure who lived during the rule of several important presidents, including that of course of President Gamal Abdel Nasser, President Anwar Sadat. He represented Egypt in France. He was a very important key figure. He even knew Pope Shenouda III, the late Pope of our Coptic Orthodox Church, and he took part, and he was one of the first founders of the religious dialogue, talks about religious solidarity and the solidarity of the Egyptian society as one. He was an important historic as well as a religious key figure who knew a lot about what's taking place in the back corridors of the Egyptian politics, as well as the various, not only the religious discourses, but also he took part in some of the peace negotiations during the peace talks. And I recall interviewing him years and years ago, and he was telling us his memories with President Anwar Sadat, and he was talking to us about how Sadat was fought for the Camp David peace pact, but which eventually was one of the important achievements of the century at that time. He's a very important key figure, and we will be looking into a report about him. Well, Ahmed, have you met him, or have you heard of him?
No, I have heard of him, but I did not have the chance to meet him or interview him. But we do have a report to know more about him, and for the audience to be knowing more about him following his late death.
Well, now let's look at the report directed by our colleague Mohammed Fikri.
From journalist to presidential media advisor, corporate consultant to pioneer in interfaith dialogue, Ali Asamman defied characterization. He was president of the International Union for Intercultural and Interfaith Dialogue and Peace Education, ADIC, for Europe and Egypt, as well as Secretary General of the Association for Economic Information, Europe-Egypt. He also contributed weekly articles to the Egyptian press and regularly appeared on television as a commentator on current affairs. Previously, Asamman served in Paris as director of the Middle East news agency MENA and of Egyptian radio and television for Western Europe. In Cairo, he was the foreign media advisor to President Anwar Sadat, director of the Prime Minister's Cabinet for Infrastructure Projects for Western Europe, Vice President of the Permanent Committee of Al-Azhar for Dialogue with the Monotheistic Religions, Advisor to the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar for Interfaith Dialogue, President of the Committee for Interfaith Dialogue at the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs of Egypt. On September 3, 2012, Asamman received the insignia of Officer of the French National Order of the Legion of Honor in recognition of his efforts to improve Egyptian-French relations and promote intercultural dialogue throughout his life. Later last month, his autobiography, Egypt from One Revolution to Another, was released in the UK. Dr. Ali Asamman, President of the International Union for the Dialogue of Cultures and Religions, passed away on August 5th of the year 2017 at the age of 88 years in the French capital, Paris.
Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV Tourism.